Well, what people don't understand is that, and this is why I'm such a proponent of staying fit and healthy, the sooner the better, and strength training earlier than later, and then getting estrogen on board as soon as it starts to leave the building, because you start to lose your facial skeletal structure. Your skull, literally, you start to lose bone, and
Yep.
you start to have it come down like this, and now everything's coming down, downward and inward. And it's a lot of this is, yeah, we can pull it up, and you can pull it up through surgery, and you can tighten it all you want. But if people are losing skeletal integrity and
Yeah.
bone loss, this is also why women who I try to explain this to women that are in their elder years, when their teeth start falling out and they say, oh, it was that bad, it was that cheap, I went down to Mexico and had cheap dental work 20 years ago. I'm like, no honey, it's osteoporosis, and the socket is,
Mhm.
you're losing bone, and now the socket is widening and the teeth are falling out. So anything we can do to abate that is also important, because you can only pull skin up so much if the bone underneath has got nothing and the muscles are flimsy and atrophied.
Well, and studies are also showing that in the first 5 years after menopause, women lose 30% of the thickness of the collagen in their skin. Five
Ah,
years, 30% loss. And so going on hormone replacement therapy can mitigate some of that. And there are some studies that do show that HRT helps to reduce that collagen loss. But that's where just what you said, and what you've been always promoting, a high protein diet, because collagen is a protein. So you need to get the protein precursors in the body. Once again, I'm a big fan of collagen supplements, and then really some of those topical therapies, retinol, if you can tolerate it, peptides, bakuchiol, all of that signaling to create more collagen. But it's a difficult thing, because that's why you see a woman who maybe is in their 70s or 80s and her skin is tissue paper thin to the point where you scratch it and it tears. You don't see that with men as much, okay? Because men, we lose 1% of the thickness of collagen every year, starting about in our mid 20s. But we don't get that menopause thing where things just ramp up, because so for women, it's 30% in the first 5 years and then 2% thereafter. And that's why women get such thin skin as they get older. And so really it's fighting that process is so important, if you get to, when you get to that age, to make sure that that doesn't happen to you.
yeah, and have a pre-plan, because I noticed a significant aging process. They say that study that came out last year showing like somewhere in your mid 40s and then again in your 60s,
Yeah,
early 60s.
60. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
I fell off the cliff at like 47, 48 all of a sudden. And I know
Yeah.
I was, things were very high stress at the time, but I aged significantly in a very short amount of time, and everything changed. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh, I know, I have my grandma's gels and I have a turkey neck, and things got different. So anyway, yes, we got to fight. Okay, so I take your collagen, I put it in my coffee every morning, and I use your
Oh, great.
skincare. I just want to plug your skincare for a minute, because
Oh, thank you.
I, you have a lovely, I tell you, I've made a ritual of my evening makeup removal, and you have an oil cleanser that is just chef's kiss. And then I
Oh,
follow it with
good.
a cream. You have this lovely cream cleanser that then removes any, in the oil, you add a little water and it emulsifies and we get it off easily. But then we do the cream cleanser after, and it is so good. And the other day, I was like, man, this is like such a double. I don't know if that's how you intend those two to work together.
Yeah, no, that's how you have to. One final tip is a lot of people put their cleanser on and wash it right off. Give it about 30 seconds to let that
Yeah.
cleanser emulsify. So a lot of people don't
Yeah.
realize that. They just think that you wash it on, wash it off. No, leave it on for about 30 seconds and let it do its work.
I massage. I make it, it's a whole decadent, luxurious, like when I go to the bathroom to take my makeup off, my husband knows like she's not coming out for 40 minutes. I go in, I like do a whole
Good for
thing.
you.
Well, I have never been into skincare at all until more recently, in the last few years. And
Mm,
I just haven't been very good at taking care of myself at all, period, for the last several years because of whatever. And
mm.
I thought, I'm going to give myself a little self care. And then your retinol product is truly the only one I can use that does not, I get really bad labial herpes outbreaks when I use any
Mm.
other kind of retinol. And yours, I don't know what it is, but it works. It makes my skin get that nice look that you get when you use a retinol, and it does not cause me any kind of reaction. So
Yeah, we have a liposomal retinol, and yeah, and it's a lot of antioxidants and healthy fats in it to make sure that it kind of modifies that. A lot of people get a lot of irritation from retinol, and this is one that we make specifically to try to reduce that so that people can tolerate it, get the benefits of it, yet not feel like their face is red and itchy and flaking and all that type of stuff.
And it's very well priced, and the packaging is unassuming, and it's a really nice line.
Thank
You've
you.
done it's a great job. And then you just recently sent me a retinol body cream that I have not yet used because I wanted to ask you. Tell me about this, because how do I use this?
So, I mean, I think it's kind of like when you think about it, we talk a lot about retinol. If you ask plastic surgeons and dermatologists, if you could pick one anti-aging cream to put on your face, what would it be? And they will tell you retinol. And so it dawned on me one day, like, why are we not applying it all over our whole body? Because as we get older, we get that crepiness of the skin of the body, of the neck, of the chest, of the arms and legs. And so I thought, well, very few people or companies are making a retinol for the body that's also super moisturizing and comfortable, and it's got great botanicals in it. And that's what we set out to make. And so that's our retinol body. Technically, it's retinol body creme, but I don't want to sound bougie. So I'll call it retinol body cream. But it comes in a nice big size. Just try it, and we'd even put like a little applicator if you want to do that, or you can just stick your fingers in it and then just spread it. And you'll see it's really moisturizing. But also you get that benefit of the retinol. So you're gonna get some exfoliation, you're gonna get some improvement in collagen production, help to slow down that kind of collagen degradation process that creates that thinning of the skin and that crepiness of the skin that we all wanna try to avoid as we get older.
Okay, I'll give it a go. My question is for everyone listening, maybe doesn't know this, we're supposed to have our skin dry before we apply any kind of retinol. Is that correct, to decrease irritation?
Not necessarily. So a couple of things. The first thing is, for your body creams, best thing is to apply it within 2 minutes of exiting the shower. Because you get out of the shower, you dry off, you still have that moisture on your skin, and you don't want to let that completely dry, because that's moisture that if you can lock in, it's going to make things more comfortable and stay hydrated. So that's the first thing, is I would apply it within 2 minutes of getting out of the shower. That's going to even give you an even better result. Second thing to consider is, if you do have irritation to retinol. Like, let's say, you have to use my retinol moisturizer, Youn Beauty, you can use a different one. And let's say you said, hey, look, I've got one that I spent all this money on and my skin is getting irritated from it, but I don't want to throw it out. You can do what's called a retinol sandwich. And what that is very simple. You apply a gentle moisturizer first, then you apply the retinol, and then a gentle moisturizer afterwards. By doing this retinol sandwich, where the retinol essentially is the meat or the filling inside the sandwich, you're going to allow slower absorption of that retinol, and it really helps to mitigate some of the irritation of it. So some people will do that as a way to try to tolerate their retinol better.
Okay. Good to know. I'm going to start on it. I'll let you know how it goes, because I'm in Arizona, and that's a whole different game of
the
moisture
body
and skin
creme. I think
protection.
you're going to love that.
Creme. It is very lovely. The consistency, I've opened it and played with it. It's very lovely.
Oh, good.
Okay, great. So speaking of skin treatments and skincare, very important. I'm getting on it. I realize that. What are some of these in-office treatments that people are doing? The salmon DNA, the exosomes, the PRX, biostimulators. Tell me about those.
Yes, there's a lot of interesting things going on right now in skincare and cosmetic treatments. So some of the things that we have brought on, you may have heard, and Kim Kardashian always is at the forefront of all of these things, honestly. So one of the things that she came out with about a year ago is she went to South Korea and had something called a salmon DNA facial. Now, in Korea, it's called PDRN, polydeoxyribonucleotides. And what this is actually DNA taken from salmon sperm DNA that is very similar to what you have, I guess the human body and salmon, there's these similarities to it, where these are what are called biostimulators, where you inject it into the skin and it helps the body to create collagen.